The top 6 worst captains in Star Trek history. Star Trek, where the final frontier is ruled by some of the coolest and most competent starship captains in the galaxy. But let's not kid ourselves. Even in the Trek universe, not every captain could match the charisma of a Kirk or the wisdom of a Picard. Buckle up, Trekkies, because we're diving into the galaxy's worst captains who ever sat in the captain's chair. Warning, this is going to be a bumpy ride. 6. Captain Rudolph Ransom. Captain Rudolph Ransom, from the episode Equinox in Star Trek Voyager, takes the 6th spot on this cosmic list. At first glance, he seemed like a by-the-book Starfleet officer. But when the chips were down, Ransom proved he'd jettison his morals for a quick profit. Stranded in the Delta Quadrant, he chose to harm innocent aliens to expedite his journey home. You'd think he'd never heard of the Prime Directive. Though morally bankrupt, he's not entirely the worst. He did eventually face some cosmic karma. However, Captain Ransom serves as a stark reminder that a captain's integrity is only as sturdy as their most desperate hour. 5. Captain Esteban. Captain Esteban from Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, lands the 5th spot. This guy's insistence on protocol makes him as exciting as watching paint dry in a warp nacelle. His reluctance to take risks and his inability to think creatively under pressure were fatal flaws, making him a rather uninspiring leader. Come to think of it, his reputation could be the primary reason why most fans barely remember his ship's name. Starship. What was it again? Although it's the USS Grissom, truly who can blame fans for forgetting? Esteban is the bureaucratic drone of Starfleet captains, making him neither infamously bad nor remotely memorable. 4. Captain Garth. Next up, Captain Garth from the TOS episode Whom Gods Destroy. To be fair, Garth was once a celebrated captain before he went all Mad King on everyone. His descent into madness and subsequent attempt to take over an asylum planet is nothing short of a tragic fall from grace. Questions about mental health in spaceflight are important, sure, but Garth's transformation into a deranged villain offers no path to redemption. His legacy shifted from hero to cautionary tale, prompting the next batch of cadets to perhaps brush up on their space psychiatry courses. Just remember, folks, a glittering track record means nothing once you start claiming to be a god. Captain Edward Jellico. Despite the next generation boasting a lineup of legendary captains, Edward Jellico from the 2-part episode Chain of Command is far from beloved. His brash and authoritarian style ruffled the feathers of everyone aboard the Enterprise, including the viewers at home. His abruptness may have had tactical justifications, but it came off as abrasive and ego-driven. Whether it's changing the duty shifts or eradicating the family-friendly atmosphere Picard nurtured, Jellico made everyone want to high-five him, right in the face. Though his strategic mind is impeccable, his lack of emotional intelligence capsized his credibility as a captain worth following. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. This will really help this channel out. 2. Captain John Harriman. If there were ever a character to exemplify the Peter Principle, rising to the level of one's incompetence, it's Captain Harriman of the USS Enterprise B from Star Trek Generations. This guy had the quintessential deer-in-the-headlights look as soon as complications arose during what should have been a routine maiden voyage. His hesitation and lack of preparedness during a crisis made him look severely out of his depth, especially when compared to the legends who preceded him. Having to rely on a retired Kirk to save the day is the kind of rookie mistake that earns you a permanent spot on every worst captain's list in Starfleet history. It's a wonder he wasn't demoted to shuttlecraft maintenance after that debacle. 1. Captain Ronald Tracey. Finally, we arrive at Captain Ronald Tracey from the TOS episode The Omega Glory, who is the absolute nadir of Starfleet's captaincy. This guy threw the Prime Directive out the airlock as if it were mere space trash. Abandoning every principle that Starfleet stands for, he played God on the planet Omega-4, manipulating the local population in a grotesque power grab. If that weren't enough, his blatant disregard for human life and ethical conduct led to a devastating conflict. Tracey embodies every fear Starfleet has about captains going rogue. Upon counting all his sins, one easily crowns him as the worst captain to ever command a Starfleet vessel. So there you have it, 6 captains who make the Kobayashi Maru scenario seem like a delightful jaunt. Starfleet may aim for the stars, but not every captain can shine as brightly as we'd hope. Sometimes, it's the worst examples that teach us the importance of true leadership. If you enjoyed this trek down Starfleet's Hall of Infamy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more galactic gaffes and spacefaring sagas. Live long and prosper, preferably with better captains at the helm.